Hey everyone, Kindra here. I am a licensed physical therapist assistant. I am a certified personal trainer, and I am also a certified nutritionist. So, I posted almost a week ago, on my Instagram stories, any questions, whether it be fitness, nutrition, bodybuilding, any related to that. And I'm going to go over 4 of them today. Those were kind of the most common questions. They were kind of worded a little bit differently, but all of them are all pretty similar with the question. So the first one is how to figure out food intolerances. So this one has been a learning curve for me because over time I have had lots and lots of food intolerances thanks to hormone imbalances. So how I figured out was I kept a little food journal. So after I eat breakfast, I would kind of record how I felt. First of all, I would record the foods that I ate and how I felt. If I started to notice some gas and some possible bloating or some cramps, I would record that. And I would do that. It's a little time consuming, but if you want to get your digestion 100%, do it. It's totally worth it. And over time, try and figure out and maybe eliminate one food that you think might be causing it. And that's one way to figure out food intolerances. But if you have multiple food intolerances, that is very hard. I know there's some people that are back and forth about it, but Everlywell, the food sensitivity test or the food intolerance test, where they mail you a kit, you prick your finger, you drop the blood in I think it's like six or eight different little circles, and then you ship it back, and it's actually pretty quick. I would say for me it was maybe a week and a half in total from the time that I shipped it back to the time I got my results. So the one thing you need to make sure you do is the foods that you like and you're going to eat the most, you need to make sure you have eaten them at least a little bit before taking the test, because it looks at the reactivity level in your body. So if you don't eat apples, you think you're intolerant to apples, and you don't eat them for 30 plus days before taking the test, there's not enough in your body to see what the reactivity level is. So I hope that makes sense. So if you're doing a food sensitivity test, make sure you have eaten the foods that are on that list or the ones that you're worried about, probably 2 weeks prior to taking the test or so. And that should help you with figuring out your reactivity level. They'll give you high, moderate, and low. So low, if you eat it in moderation, it shouldn't really bother you. It's the moderate and the high that you want to pay attention to. And so I know that Everlywell for me was a huge game changer. The moderate reactivity stuff that I had, cut it out of my diet, and it nearly completely changed my digestive system for the better. Alright, let's see. The next one was how to curb hunger when it's not time to eat. So, curbing hunger. 1, make sure you're drinking enough water. 2, make sure you're getting your vegetables in. 3, make sure you're getting enough fiber in. If all 3 of those are there and you're still hungry, one thing you can do is maybe don't eat as high of carb sources like your potatoes. Those are more dense. Maybe add in more veggies. So lessen how much of the, say, sweet potatoes or rice that you have, and incorporate, because that's going to create the bulk of your meal as your veggies. Alright, veggies are good for you. Use some sugar-free marinade, low-calorie dressing, whatever you got to do, seasoning. Get those veggies in. Those are going to help you feel fuller for longer. Alright, also some little tricks that I've used in the past in bodybuilding prep towards the end. Shredded lettuce. And you could either use plain mustard, or the store brands will have the different flavored mustards that are 10 calories or less. And so you're really hungry, you need a little crunch, grab yourself some shredded lettuce, mustard, and if you have a little room for calories, you could add some stuff in there. Alright, another thing that I would do quite a bit, sugar-free Jell-O, little bit of whipped cream, and a little bit of sprinkles on top. That's like a little mini dessert that is less than 15 calories. Yeah, you're welcome. Alright, also, if you're a coffee drinker, coffee helps. Get stevia if you need to sweeten it. What else? Oh, another thing that I've done too is boiled some fresh ginger and then add a little bit of lemon juice, And then if you have some calories, honey or stevia. That ginger helps just cut that craving. Same thing with apple cider vinegar. All right? So, can you drink alcohol, lift, and still make those gains? Yes. In moderation. So, if you go out and have like 1 or 2 drinks, maybe 2 or 3 days a week, there's been studies that if you drink no more than 3 drinks, like in one sitting, it should not affect your gains. Now, obviously, that's given that they don't do a heavy pour and that everything is measured out correctly. So, keep that in mind. Obviously, there's some places where they do a heavy pour and that's worth like 2 or 3 drinks in one drink. So, 3 drinks or less in studies that I've read, typically you could still make gains. But anything really more than that, it's hard to say. If it's like a once in a while thing that you do, special occasion, you'll probably be fine. But if you're doing it consistently, yes, it's going to hurt those gains, especially if you're a natural athlete. Natural athletes, it's just a lot harder for us to gain muscle. A lot more work and a lot more time. Alright, so if your goal ultimately is to build muscle, then you need to work towards that goal. Which is more important? Alcohol, making gains. The choice is yours. Alright, last one. Getting started with macro tracking. Download MyFitnessPal. I like MyFitnessPal. It has the largest library of different foods already tracked. But there is like My Macros Plus, and there's a couple other ones. But I personally suggest MyFitnessPal. Download MyFitnessPal. Do not listen to what they pre-calculate your macros. So macros are proteins, carbs, and fats. Do not go based on what they just pre-calculate. There's so many variables that dictate what your macros should be, and MyFitnessPal does not properly, accurately calculate them. So, just don't change your eating habit and start tracking. So, like, if you have 2 slices of toast, an omelet, throw some stuff in that omelet, try and track that in your breakfast as closely as you can. Do not go OCD of, oh my gosh, I think I'm off by like half an ounce. Oh my god, it's the end of the world. No, it's not. Alright? So, just start getting familiar with tracking. When you're first trying to get used to macros, the goal is not to start losing weight or just start building muscle right away and gaining weight. The goal is to get familiar with macro tracking. You need to master it first before you can either go and work on building muscle, going in a calorie surplus, or trying to lose weight. So, get yourself familiar with macro tracking. Get yourself used to looking at some sweet potatoes and being like, oh, okay, so that is about half a cup. That's about 25, 30 grams of carbs. Okay. So that's a big part of macro tracking is you're trying to get yourself used to roughly being able to eye and intuitively eat. Okay, so this is the portion sizes. That's what macro tracking helps you with. But obviously it's more accurate. So that way, if you're actively trying to build a specific amount of muscle, or you're trying to lose weight, this is the most accurate way to helping you do that. So, macro tracking, get familiar with it. Just start tracking. Alright? Once you get familiar with tracking enough, then we can start playing around with figuring out, like if you want to lose weight, trying to figure out how to start that calorie deficit. But at the same time, when you're macro tracking, you need to also make sure you're taking in enough calories. And so macro tracking is going to help you figure out if you're eating too little or too much. Alright? So I know I kind of got off on a tangent there. I love macro tracking, and I love teaching people about it. So if you want a video in the future, just strictly about macros, please feel free. Throw it in the comments section below. And probably pretty soon on my Instagram, I will post another kind of like questions, and I'll do a little Q&A again on here. Alright, don't mind the dew. I'm kind of in relaxing, cleaning, meal prep mode. Figured I'd be comfy on this cold and chilly East Texas day. It was 20 degrees last night. Nice wind chill. But I think it's supposed to get to like 49 today. So hopefully when it gets a little bit warmer, I might take the pups out for a walk. Alright. Well, if y'all stuck around for this long, I thank you. Alright. My IG is tactical_girl_kilo. I will put it in the description below. Please follow me. I do have a couple bodybuilding clients that are working towards bikini competition, so I'll be posting more videos, whether it be nutrition, whether it be bodybuilding, whether just it be lifestyle related. So hope you come and hop on this wild ride of 2022. See you later.